Greetings, I am Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Devil May Cry 2 for the bonus bonanza! As we take a look at the HD collection, and much like in the bonus video of the first Devil May Cry game, yes, we're taking a look at some delicious artwork, and this time with the sounds of Devil May Cry 3. Like a sequel game, and yeah, to kind of talk about the artwork for DMC2 compared to the first, it's not quite as expansive as I would have liked, but nevertheless, you do get to see a fair bit of interesting vistas, and well, I mean, again, credit to the concept art designers. Again, really fucking powerful visuals, and, well, I mean, in terms of translating them to, you know, in-game assets themselves, turned out pretty nice. So, yeah, say what you will about Devil May Cry 2, but its artistry is fucking on point. But yeah, in any case, so, yeah, sadly, you don't quite get as many, well, I guess either because a lot of the concepts were borrowed from the first game, or, you know, just stuff that they didn't have time to include. Yeah, you just get a few concept artwork pieces, you know, a few renders of Dante, Lucia here and there, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So, yeah, not bad renders. Everything's pretty cute, cool and snazzy, and yeah, quite frankly, that's pretty much all she wrote in regards to anything else. The duality of man and woman, heads or tails, Arius or Argosax. But yeah, overall, oh, it's the Devil May Cry 2 movie poster. Oh yeah, even though a Devil May Cry movie was probably never going to happen. Although, I mean, then again, it was actually rumoured, I think, around about the time the reboot came out, which was probably going to be based on that, which probably wouldn't have done well in and of itself, but, you know, these projects come and go, so, acquiesced, really. Whatever the case though, the game's artistry is on point, Dante's Devil Trigger looking sick as hell, and of course, a bit of artwork of the secretaries, you know, Lucia as a secretary, that being the bird. Even Mathieu gets some of the action. Oh, happy joy. And Trish artwork as well, which is what we're going to be seeing later in the video. Oh, we can't choose, but instead we choose the Dante for one specific reason. The first of which being to showcase the fact that you can unlock alternate costumes. The Diesel outfits you unlock after beating normal mode, Trish you unlock after beating the hard mode, and DMC1 Dante you unlock by beating, well, the must-die mode. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, we're going to be playing through as Devil May Cry 1 Dante as we enter series first, the Bloody Palace mode. Which, contrary to popular belief, was not included in Devil May Cry 3 Vanilla, but rather the special edition, so, yes. Now, well, the thing to talk about what happens when you get Devil May Cry 1 Dante is that not only is the musical tracks replaced with, you know, Public Enemy and Lock and Load, you know, replacing Shoot the Works and Fire Away, but, yeah, a lot of the voice grunts are also replaced with Drew Coombs as opposed to Matt Kaminsky. So, I mean, yeah, I was going to say how exactly they could get away with that when it's technically somebody else's performance, but then again, I also remembered Ratchet & Clank 1 with how, you know, even though they had James Arnold Taylor on the payroll as Ratchet, they still ended up utilizing a lot of Mikey Kelly's grunts and screams as, you know, Ratchet, you know, fell over, got hurt, or died. So, whatever, I suppose, but in any case, what is the Bloody Palace mode? Well, in essence, it's basically a mode in which you can basically kill a set amount of enemies per room, and, yeah, it pretty much derives influence from the secret rooms that you played during the base game, except here you can basically increase your number by, you know, 1 to 10 to 100 levels, and they pretty much escalate in difficulty from, you know, normal mode through to, well, the must-die mode difficulty, so, yeah, it's basically arcadey gameplay just add water that I fathom was probably more of an invention of, you know, the Power Stone Street Fighter team that eventually became the, you know, incumbent developers of the Devil May Cry series. So, there we go. But yeah, you basically have a few different arenas based upon the secret rooms throughout the game, and yeah, a bunch of different enemies, up to and including some of the bosses. Again, you can face possessed Arius as Dante, you can face off against, like, you know, even the possessed Chopper, which is, again, at ground level, much easier to take down. And again, tanks, you know, pretty much every other enemy in the game, really, so the world's your oyster, and again, if you want to fulfill that enemy roster, here's the place to do it. That being fulfilling the enemy file, really, which I don't recall showing off, but acquiesced, really. But yeah, I'm not going to be showing all the rounds of, you know, the Bloody Palace mode, because again, it is very much an arcade-style mode that would become series standard later on, so yeah, I just wanted to showcase it purely for the sake of, you know, letting you know that it's in the game. I did record a fair bit of footage, but that was just mainly just B-roll stuff for the review, so yeah, I stay my tongue on that. In any case, onwards to greener pastures where we have... yeah, Lucia's alternate costume. She has 2 alternate diesel outfits, a real-world clothing brand, may I remind you, so yeah, that probably explains why they look a bit more terrestrial. You have a secretary outfit by beating the must-die mode, and of course, similar to Dante, by beating the hard mode, you unlock Trish. Now, yeah, Trish, compared to the likes of, say, you know, Virgil or whatever else, when he became DLC for the likes of Devil May Cry 4 and 5, or even 3 actually, because, yeah, unlike Virgil, who at least has 1 or 2 cutscenes here and there, Trish, on the other hand, is very much just sort of a bonus character. Again, only the... well, again, to point this out immediately, only the diesel outfits show up in cutscenes, so not the secretary nor Trish. I guess for continuity reasons or laziness. Whatever, you be the judge, but yeah, Trish's inclusion in this game is purely just as a bonus character, but she does come with her own unique moveset and bells and whistles. Like, for example, she has Devil Sword Sparta, and in turn she also has Sparta's handguns, Luce and Umbra. And yeah, as one of her underwater weapons, she gets the Nightmare Beta. But yeah, these are pretty much all the moves that Trish can pull off, as well, anything else really, but there is actually, yeah, well, I guess I could also point that out while I have the time. Yeah, she also gets Twosome Time, Air Raid, and, you know, Rainstorm abilities as well, so yeah, Trish is pretty pimped out. But the one thing that you're going to be noticing as we test it out right here, inside Mattier's nearby home, yeah, familiar moveset from Devil May Cry 1. That's basically because Trish's moveset data is taken directly from Devil May Cry 1 Dante, so yeah, every move that Dante had in the first game is yours to command as Trish. Which does make me wonder, you know, up to and including, you know, a lot of the abilities. For example, that being the original round trip from the first game, you know, Trish also including a few punching moves from Ifrit with her flames lighting on fire, so flames lighting on fire, her hands lighting on fire. So, yeah, it does make me wonder, really, if Dante in the base game controlled like this, would people have had, well, again, I was going to say, would people have had such a big problem with it, but I'd imagine they probably would have given the ease of difficulty, and that only really being part of why a lot of people just didn't really have a lot of fun with 2 compared to, you know, the first game in the series going forward, so scratch that thought. But yeah, either way, Trish is very acrobatic. You still have your tricks and moves where you can, you know, walk up walls and pull off a bunch of sick moves. So quite frankly, Trish is a really fun character to play as, and well, actually has a rather overpowered devil trigger. So again, if you want to break the game, or you know, kind of make yourself feel a little bit more at ease during the must-die mode, Trish is very much the panacea to your needs and desires. And I will say that again, while you know, Devil May Cry 2 on the normal mode is fairly easy, the hard mode, you know, I'd say probably should have been the standard difficulty. Yeah, the must-die mode will certainly put you through your paces as it, you know... again, as we're pretty much seeing right here, really, since I am pretty much giving you a sample taste of what the must-die mode has to offer. I mean, granted, Mission 1 isn't really gonna do much to, you know, put the fear of God into you, but it will very much, you know, showcase that the enemy's AI is a lot more aggressive, and, again, if you leave them idle for long enough, they eventually have a devil trigger of their own, which you will be seeing quite soon. But yeah, all that aside though, again, I take it that this is probably the sort of difficulty that people were expecting the first time around. But once again though, there is also another thing to mention, the fact that, again, in terms of mechanical refinement, again, there isn't exactly any sort of like a sword clash blocks or anything to really sort of, you know, diversify the enemy dynamics, so... yeah, I mean, again, it's still relatively fun to play as a game, and again, the fact that you do have a different move pool to use as Trish, even one familiar from the first game, again, it is nice to experiment with another move pool apart from Dante and Lucia and, you know, really make the most out of your combat. Oh yeah, air juggling. Such as a leftover mechanic from Resident Evil, Onimusha, whatever's your poison. It's good to see you again. But yeah, as we traverse through Lucia's first mission, pretty much everything else pretty much remains the same, and you are seeing why I did cut this out of, you know, the main game playthroughs, because, yeah, it's pretty much the same as Dante's first mission, but in reverse, so, again, I figured that'd be redundant as we were already traveling across it, so, yeah, fuck it, I'll pretty much just, you know, decide to use this to show off the must-die mode, as well as Trish has a bit of a two-food deal to showcase her abilities. But, yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. All you have left to see of Trish is her devil trigger. as she gets trapped inside this Actually, no, she isn't trapped in this mysterious realm that's preserved for Dante. But yeah, it is here where you get to see her utilize Twosome Time and, yeah, Trish's Devil Trigger. She doesn't exactly change form, but rather just sort of glow yellow and put on sunglasses. She can fly, and again, like a lot of those abilities still sort of apply, like a, you know, round trip, despite also having the original one where you pretty much use it to lock onto enemies. You know, the Scythe mode of Devil Sword Spider does lock on around her body. And, yeah, as you're going to be seeing right here, I believe. Come on, don't make a liar out of me. Okay, you probably couldn't see it until just down there, but yep. Yeah, the Bound Agonies actually, light their cages on fire as a cool little Devil Trigger effect. But yeah, what happens when enemies enter their own Devil Trigger state is that basically they're a lot harder to take down and, yeah, their attacks are a lot more powerful, but that only happens after a certain period of time. Eclipses, I think, I want to say up to like 40 seconds to a minute, so yeah, you do need to be on your guard when enemies enter their Devil Trigger state. And I mean, again, even as you're seeing, like, right here, right now, the enemies being much more powerful in Devil May Cry 2, again, I do have to wonder if, like, you know, the difficulty and more aggressive AI would have been the difference maker for a lot of people, but I don't know, I guess we'll never truly know. I mean, I suppose the lack of weapon variety probably would have also been a bit of a drop of piss that spoils the broth, but it's neither here nor there in this case. One last thing to mention is, in terms of, you know, Trish's Devil Trigger, similar to Dante, again, if you're on the ground, you'll pretty much have, like, this rapid machine gun firing abilities of, Lucia Umbra, but, again, if you're airborne while as, Trish, yeah, in keeping with the idea that she's very much a lightning demon, she does also have the ability to basically shoot, you know, electric beams of death from above and, take out a lot of enemies that way, that which, you know, end up doing, like, a fuckload of damage, and, you know, overall, is pretty fucking sweet. And, certainly, it would be sweet in taking down these Puyo enemies, which, are they meant to be related to Phantom? Because, I mean, again, as I did state in the, you know, the final part, that they did already have, like, Phantom spawnlings already, in Devil May Cry 1, so as far as, like, even the final build before they were removed. I mean, even if they do look a fair bit, you know, Resident Evil in terms of their design. Well. But, either way, it's, it is what it is, really, and, yeah, Trish's appearance also does sort of change the music dynamics as well. I believe I believe her music is meant to take on the appearance of some of the tracks from Devil May Cry 1 when you played as Sparta, for not like a better phrase, when you played as Sparta, who also changed up the music for Devil May Cry 1 whenever you played as him. Like, you'd have 2 tracks replacing Public Enemy and Lock and Load, and yeah, overall, not too bad. Oh my god, they're killing us all. But yeah, those little buzzsaw shield dudes can end up being quite the pain in the ass if you know, let them get up on your grill and throw up your grooves, so yeah, do be careful. Oh my god, the Hella Chopper! The infested chopper has come for me! Although then again, you probably can't hear that, but if you can, I do apologize. Just pay attention to the sick as hell action of Devil May Cry 2. But yeah, overall though, like, the must-die mode, you know, I mean, if you're thinking Devil May Cry 2 was too easy, well, then maybe give this difficulty mode a try again if you enjoy the base gameplay but feel that the game is, oh yes, we see it's a game for babies. But, I mean, even in that case, I suppose that probably isn't going to save a lot of people from going, why play this when I could just play something else instead, so... Quish, whatever, I've said my piece on, the Phantom and DMC2. I suppose to kind of, actually, you know what, I'll save that for a little bit later, as we, you know, continue to see what was meant to be the intro cutscene for, well... Oh yeah, she's holding it... I thought she was holding it gangster style, but, alas, no. He was just firing it normally, because, holding it gangster style will, get guns to jam, I believe. Which is why the police encourage you to do that, because it means that they won't get shot on the job, presumably. So yeah, gangster style may look cool, but is ineffective in gunplay. So you do learn random things here at Solidus-Skully headquarters, but yeah, it's neither here nor there in this case. Anyway, we've fought the rabble long enough, so let's see some new enemies. One that we have seen before, but not as such. Oh dear, the Golem is back, but that was his introductory cutscene that, yeah, you pretty much missed throughout the base game. Whoop-de-doodle. But in any case, to pretty much elucidate my last bit of trivia here, yeah, Hideki Kamiya, who was pretty much the director of the first Devil May Cry game, and I suppose by extension creator of the series, yeah, he states that Trish apparently does have a devil trigger form, but is never shown off. So I guess by that, basically meaning that she has her own, like, demonic form, but, you know, is more than just what we see. So I guess she chooses a human form just to, I don't know, for the sake of comfort, I suppose, but, yeah. I mean, how true this is to the continuity of the series is kind of questionable at best, since he did leave Capcom, I want to say around about, like, 2006 or whatever. Although, then again, I did hear that, recently he was working with, Capcom again with the sake of, I think it was a sequel to Okami, so, yeah. I mean, with Hideki Itsuno gone, I suppose there is the possibility that Hideki Kamiya could return, but then again, I kind of am, because I mean, I do think he is a solid action game designer, but by that same token, though, again, I mean, given how, you know, lol so wacky Bayonetta could be at times, and how kind of not as good as Devil May Cry as that series could be, yeah, I'm really not too sure if I really want to see him, you know, around the series again, but then again, that's neither here nor there in this case. We're pretty much nearing the end of this, and, yeah, with the bonus video well and truly completed, that is the end of Devil May Cry 2, so, yeah, on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keeping new metal. Kingdom Hearts 3 still going on, and Jak and Daxter on the horizon, so take care, dudes and dudettes, and I'll see ya later. Bye-bye.